Hi, guys. This is the first time in a couple weeks I've been able to get on with no technical difficulties. Yay! I'm glad everything's working today. I never know anymore. The software is getting old on me, so hopefully it'll keep going for a little bit longer because I'm still investigating which one I want to go with. So there are so many out there, it's hard to get the right one to work. Okay, let me get my chat up here in YouTube. Oh, hi, Myra from Iowa, and Laura from South Carolina, and we've got Patricia or Patty from New York. Oh, hi, Anne. Glad you're back too. Always good to see new names, and it's good to see old names too. Love having my regulars come back too. Well, today I'm going to be doing my crafting with you card class at home. I think I mentioned this last week that that's what this was going to be this week. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned it, and I got a lot of yays. So I said I was going to do one here in May. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to this. I hope you like the cards. I had fun making them. If you've got a crafter friend, now if you're watching this, I know you love to craft, so you may just want the stamp set for yourself. But if you want to make cards for any of your crafting friends, you're definitely going to want to get this bundle. It's a lot of fun. It covers so many different crafts, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. Now, I've only got a couple little things, news things to go over. It's only going to take a second. There's not a lot going on right now because they're, including my upline, earned the Norway cruise, and that's starting. So a lot of them are on their way over there right now. Some are already over, like my upline, Sherry, is already over there in Scotland right now. So I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Michelle from Rancho Cordova, California. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to go. We had a beautiful day. We always talk about weather here, so hopefully you guys are all having good weather. I know some places it's rainy. It's always different everywhere, but today we had a perfect day. The windows were open. When I got all my paper stuff done, I went upstairs and took my computer because I had a lot of computer stuff to do to get ready for this, and had all the windows open. It's like 74 right now, no humidity, sunny. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, hi, Kathleen. Glad you're here. Okay, now I'm going to go over the couple of things. Like I said, there's not a lot going on right now, probably because of the cruise. June, I bet we'll start having some new stuff, but I haven't heard anything yet. I'm just thinking that's what's going to happen. Okay, right now it's the Paper Pumpkin Kit. Welcome in. I just got my Paper Pumpkin Kit from, I guess this month, because this will be next month's. And I haven't opened it yet, but I'm going to hopefully be able to make some alternatives. I've said that so many times, and everything keeps getting busy on me. So hopefully I'll be able to come up with some alternatives for that one. But this one has a dice set that goes along with it. There was one a few months ago that had a dice set, and I totally forgot to order it, and it sold out quick. And usually they sell out quick. I forgot to check before the live. I think it's still available. I'm not positive of that. So, but you can only get the little dice set if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. But it looks like a really cute set. It goes along with a Countryside Corners suite. Or actually, it's Countryside Inn is what the suite is called. And that's a really popular suite right now. It's got some beautiful paper to it. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the next one. Now I'm just going to talk about my card class. It's going on right now. This is the one I'm covering today. This is the free class video. Anybody can watch this. But if you live in the United States and place at least a $40 order before shipping and tax, make sure you look at the right total before the shipping and tax. Then you will get the card kit to make 2 each of the cards I'm making tonight. If you bump it up to a $55 order before shipping and tax, you'll get a full pack of the Tinsel Gems Three-Pack. The reason I have to put the 3-pack on there is because they've got a Tinsel Gems 4-pack. It has totally different colors in it. But this one goes really good with the paper I'm using. And I'll be showing you that paper here in just a minute. It's brand new, and I want to show you all the designs. And it's a special set, so I think you're going to like it. So I'm going to go ahead. And if you have any questions about the class, make sure you comment below. You can also find out all of the information by clicking on the Card Class at Home link down below in the video description. You do have until next Wednesday. By the end of the day, I always say midnight your time zone because I'm not going to place the order till I wake up the next morning. So make sure you get that in by midnight your time zone. And use the host code if your order is under $150 before shipping and tax. That way you'll get the card kits, and if you get up to the $55 order, you'll get the embellishments too. But make sure you use that host code because that's how you get it. I use the host code so I can get the embellishments for you. I use the Stampin' Rewards that I get for you. So that's how I get the embellishments, and I'm able to afford the card kits and to give those away. So that's why I have you use that host code. And it also helps me know if you want to get the card kits or not. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this paper and get my, now that I'm done switching cameras, I'm going to get my YouTube back up. Oh, a lot of comments. Here we go. Okay, I said hi to Mary. Hi, Michelle. Oh, no, I said hi, Michelle, too. Oh, I think I did miss you, Mary. I didn't see your pop up. You're in between Ann and, okay, hi. You're from Kansas City, Missouri. Sometimes I think the comments go out of order because I know I didn't see yours a minute ago. Oh, rainy day, but you need it. Good. Rainy days are no fun, but when you need it, it's good. I remember, oh, this had been years ago, going out and dancing because we had a drought and it started raining, and everybody at work was happy, and we went out and danced around in the rain. Okay, and Michelle, first time to see you. I didn't think I recognized your name. I'm glad you got to come. And Betty, you're in sunny Oklahoma. You've got a sunny day too. Oh, Patty, is it still frosty where you're at? I'm glad the sun is shining, though. That's good. Hi, Becky. I'm glad you're here. Let's see here. Who all do I have? Diana from Australia. Oh, you've come a long way. I'm glad you could be here. It's probably morning where you're at, isn't it? And then you ordered one set of the from the Paper Pumpkin. Good, Mary. That's good. So that means they were definitely available yesterday. Thanks for letting me know that. I figured they were still available. Okay, now this set of DSP is called Delightfully Eclectic. Now, the last at least 2 or 3 years, probably longer than that, the years go by so fast I can't keep track anymore. But there has been a designer series pack in the host only section of the catalogs. They would have one for the annual catalog, and they would have one for the mini catalogs that came out. It was always a pack. It had 48 sheets, and there are 12 double-sided designs, and you get 4 of each. But you always had to do at least a $150 order and use your Stampin' Rewards to get it. Well, this year, they don't have it in the host only. They've got it in the regular designer series paper, and you can buy it yourself, which I love that. And it is a very nice pack. And I forgot to look at the price. I want to say it's $30. I know it's no more than that. It's a really good deal to get 48 sheets. And I wanted to show you these. But then, like I said, you get 4 of each. So it's 4 times the size of our regular DSP packs, which is really nice. Am I saying that right? Yeah, because they're usually 12. That's right, because there are 12 designs to 6 designs. I had to make sure I was thinking right. Okay, so here's this, and there's so many things that you can use with this paper. The designs are totally different. I love that too. So we've got these swans, and here's the other side to that. So some of them have black and white designs that you could color in. Like you could take a blending brush and go over this and have a color the white area. The black would still be black, but that's pretty neat. And some of these designs you can, these are too small, but it's just the design made me think of it. Oh, what is that set called? I'm actually going to do a class on that sometime. Inked and something, but it's a punch bundle, and it's got a punch this size. It's bigger though, but one of these you can use the punch to die cut. Now this is one of the designs I'm using on the card. The colors are looking a little funky, but that's close. It's really hard to get the colors to look nice on a video, but it looks pretty good. Oh, did you miss this DSP, Mary? Oh, yeah. Make sure you check it. It's in the annual catalog. And then we've got this one. I just love that we can just buy it now, and you don't have to have use it for your Stampin' Rewards. It's got a lot of different colors. I know that's crushed curry. There's bubble bath, garden green, fresh freesia, misty moonlight. I said crushed curry. There's night of navy. I went and looked at all my ink pads here. I haven't used all the colors because there are a ton of colors in this. Then there's this one. You always could use a good stripe. I know, same here, Mary. I remember the tiled, but I can't. Oh, maybe it's tiled and inked, maybe? Because I was thinking inked was in the name, but something like that. It's a really neat bundle. I really like it a lot. Then we've got this one. And then we've got a real pretty floral one. I'll be using this one on one of the cards. Let me get that a little closer. Maybe you can see it a little better. There we go. Looks like my screen's not doing really good. Hopefully you're seeing these designs designs good. You never know how lives are going to work out. So we've got this. So the pretzels, that's definitely different, but I'm sure that we've got some sets with food, so this would go good. That's what I like about this great big pack. It covers so many different stamp sets that you could use with it. Then we've got, oh, I like this one with all the stripes. I love stripes, especially when they're different colors. You don't have to use that much for your card, just a thin strip, and it looks really nice. Then we've got this one. So we've got a bunch of all the alphabet going back and forth. So you could cut some of these out if you want to. Inked and tiled. Thanks, Anne. you cheated. That's what I would have done if I had the catalog close to me. Well, I guess I do have one next to me, but that would have taken too long. Boy, it's really pixelating. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can get that. Sometimes when I do that, it fixes it. No, that made it worse. It could be it doesn't like the letters. You never know. So this one has some hearts. And then we've got this one. Hopefully it looks better to you guys than what it's looking to me. Here's this one. Now this one uses the punch. These are the right size of that inked and tiled bundle. So you can punch these out if you wanted to. If you have those punches. Oh my goodness, that looks terrible. This is a neat ledger. My goodness, I hope the screen gets better. This one I like. Isn't this pretty? I like all of these designs, but this one is really pretty. Some pretty daisies. And that's petal pink. That's another color that's in here. And this one. So we've got lemons. If my friend Robin is watching this, you're going to love this one. Her last name's Lemon. Then we've got this one here. This is a neat one that would go, I go blank with names whenever I go live. But there's a really neat set that this would go with. This has got like a Southwest feel, so that would be really cute with it. And there's another ledger. Boy, definitely, my camera's definitely not liking the lines, but that's another ledger one. There's some flowers on this one. I like how they're little diamond ones. You can cut a little strip here. This would be really good for scrapbook. All these are good for scrapping, of course. Then this one would go with any masculine set for sure. Here's some strawberries to go with the fruit ones that we've got. Then we've got this. I just love the bright colors in this. Of course, this is crushed curry. I like the big dots on this one. And this one, I'm using this one on one of the cards today. And then last but not least, this one. I like the fresh Frisian, the black and white with that. I think that looks pretty. And then another black and white one there. Okay, so that is that delightfully eclectic DSP. So I definitely wanted to show you those because with that many designs, it's really hard for Stampin' Up! To be able to show you all of those designs. And I think I've told you this before, that if you ever go to my, want to see the designs, the full designs, if you go to my online store, do a search for the DSP you want to look at. They've got pictures of each design that you can look at. You just click on the picture you want to see and you'll get a full picture of the design. So if you ever want to look at them that way, you can definitely do that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the class. Like I said, this is the, well, here, let me show you the stamp set. I always forget to show you this. The Crafting With You stamp set. I normally open these up beforehand, and I forgot. I was all set up early today, but I didn't want to take them out of the envelopes, afraid I'd lose the dies if they got knocked down. But look at all of these neat dies. I really like this. A paper trimmer, and I'll be using that on a card. Scissors, a little embroidery hoop, and that made me think I'm not using that tonight, but I did use that on another card that I made with this bundle, and I've got a link to that below in the video description. So just look up the one that says, I think it was a sneak peek card. It was before it actually came out, maybe. But I do know it says, has the name of the Crafting With You bundle on it. So I think it's the first video I put down in the video description below. There's an easel. You'll be seeing that here in a minute. A little basket. It's just a lot of fun. Then we've got the stamp set that goes along with it. And you can see there are some standalone dies that I pointed out. And then there are also dies that will die cut all of the images. Yeah, all of the images. That's nice. Sometimes these little bitty ones don't have dies, but there is the little one for the little flowers. And I know there's the little heart that does this little heart. And plus you've got some buttons and things like that. There were so many things I could have die cut, but I couldn't do them all. But there's the really cute bundle. Okay, now if you place that $40 order before shipping and tax, using the host code you see in the bottom left corner, you will get these 3 kits. There are 2 of each of the cards. I've done the die cutting for you. I'm also using a die set, which I forgot to get out of the envelope. Let's hurry up and do that. Oh, hi, Carol from Connecticut. Glad you're here. Okay, so this is the Radiating Stitches Dies. Now, these have been around for a little while, not real long. They're part of online exclusives. I've had these for a while. This is the first time I've used them, and I really liked them. liked them, and I thought being stitched, that would be perfect for the Crafting With You bundle. So that's what I got out. I'm even using those couple of these shapes here too. So like you see, this one's already die cut for you. So you don't have to have that die set if you get the card kits. I've already done that for you. I've also done the embossing, and I'm embossing with the basics. This is also another online exclusive, and they weren't available there for a while, but they're available again. You get 3 in a pack, and this is the only one I used. I used on 2 different cards, so you'll see that. Well, actually, I'll just show you that here in a minute. Okay, that's kind of like a cross hatch. I'm not sure what you call that, but I really like that one a lot. I probably use that one the most. So this is what you get with a $40 order before shipping and tax using that host code below. And then if you bump it up to a $55 order, you're also going to get a full pack of the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. Let me open mine up, because this is one of the ones I'm going to give away, and I don't want to mess it up. Oops. Just clicked on something. I don't want that up. There we go. Get that fixed. Because you can almost see the Misty Moonlight color. There we go. So we've got Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, and Lost Lagoon. Now these 2 colors are in the DSP. This one is not, but it still looks really good with the colors, with some of the colors in the paper. So that's why I thought this would be a perfect embellishment pack to use on this week's cards. So just to recap real quick, $40 order before shipping and tax with the host code. You get the card kits. If you bump it up to $55, you also get, before shipping and tax, you also get the embellishments. The reason I keep saying before shipping and tax, there have been a couple orders that I've gotten that missed it only by a few dollars, and they probably didn't realize it had to be before shipping and tax. So that's why I keep emphasizing that, because that's all I get paid for. I don't get paid for the sales tax and the shipping. That's why that's separate. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with these cards. I know I'm ready. We're all done with all that business stuff. This is the fun. The business stuff's still fun, but this is more fun. Well, looking through that DSP was fun. I love going through DSP. That's probably one of the things I like to get the most, because when they're brand new packs, I love to open them up as soon as I get them and look at all those designs. So this is a piece of Garden Green. This is actually a color I don't use a lot, but it's in the paper, and I really like how it goes with the bubble bath. I would have never thought to put these 2 together. But this is 5.5 by 8.5. And go ahead and fold this in half. And I always give this little tip. I always just line up the corners when I fold my cards in half. You, of course, could score them. But if you line those corners up, everything else lines up. You don't have to worry about the sides. Just make sure you get those corners lined up, and it folds perfectly for you. So there's the card base. I'm going to grab this piece that I already die cut. This was with, you can probably figure this out, but it's with the largest die in this set. Now, the reason it's already die cut is because it's already die cut in the kit. So I'm teaching you how to use the kit. So we've got this here. I'm going to go ahead and, we can put this on the card, because I'm not going to be putting any ribbon on this. There's actually, this is a brand new one. There we go. Had to get it up to where the adhesive was ready to go. Whenever you get a new refill, you have to wheel it up just a little bit to get it to start going. And I didn't put any where these, where the stitches are, or the slat, I don't know if they're exactly stitches, but I thought just in case the adhesive might seep through to the front, I don't want any stickiness on the outside of my card. So I just kept it within the inside of that. You just put this right in the center. I think I'm going to pop the screen up. I had to make this screen go a little bit bigger so we could see the whole 12 by 12. So now I'll bring it in just a little bit. Sometimes it helps just to do that little click so you can see it a little better. So there we've got that. So doesn't the bubble bath, it's still not showing up right. I wish this bubble bath showed up better. When I did my pictures, it didn't show up real good either, but it's really pretty with this green. Okay, then I've got this piece of the DSP. This one is a 2-inch by 4-inch piece. And the flowers are the same color, the bubble bath, as this paper here. Actually, the stripes are the same color too. So you could use whichever side when you get your kits. But I liked the flowers. And it actually fits perfectly right inside those stitches. I thought that was pretty cool. I did a 2x4 because it makes it a lot easier. That divvies out right on a 12 by 12 piece of DSP, and I was really happy that it fit perfectly. Okay, I'm going to put this to, well, actually, I'm going to do the inside of the card. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. This time I'm kind of doing things out of order. I'm going to put everything together and then do the stamping, and we'll put that on top. A lot of times I'll do the stamping first, but this is working out just fine. So you can go all the way to the bottom if you want to. I'm going to just put it up a little bit above the bottom. I go back and forth. Sometimes there's really no reason for it, but this time I kind of liked having that little white border at the bottom. I'll go ahead and get my adhesive on here. There we go. Open this up. It's right in the center. I always decorate the inside. I didn't used to. I always decorate the inside of my cards now. Used to be I would just write inside. Now if it was dark cardstock, I always put white in there. But now I have fun doing the inside, and it just makes the card a little extra special. I have to admit, I do go through my white cardstock a lot faster than I used to. Now I'm going to grab my, if I can reach it here, my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so it does help to have this, the Stampin' Pierce mat. This is in the annual catalog too, when you stamp. Because like when you do our cling, which are the rubber stamps, those have some, has foam underneath it. In between the block and the stamp, there's foam. Well, this, no foam at all. So you kind of need that as a base to help it stamp better. So this is the big easel. I'm going to use crumb cake. Now, crumb cake is not one of the colors in the paper, but we don't have to just use the same color. So hi, Paula. Glad you're here. Okay, so I'm stamping this. Now, I have to admit, see how this inside part has all that crumb cake in there? When I first stamped it, I thought, why isn't that stamping? It's because you don't want that stamped. It looks like it's going to be a really thick frame on your easel, but it's not. So let me show you. So this is how it's supposed to stamp. I'm going to stand up so I can see a little better. Get a better angle when I'm standing up here. This on here, I'm going to hold it down for a few seconds just so the ink soaks through. There we go. And I love, and hopefully it'll show up this way. Yeah, I think you can see. It's got some detail to it where some of it's darker and some of it's lighter, so it makes it look more like wood. So we've got that there. Now I'm going to do something. I have been doing this a lot lately. I'm going to grab some sponge daubers. I'm going to be using Bubble Bath and Garden Green. I think first, I've done it with this stamp before, and I think it's easier to start with the flowers because they're in the middle. And plus, this is the lighter color too. So ink this up with the Bubble Bath. And I'm pouncing on it. It does a lot better if you pounce than brushing it across. And there's this little bitty flower right here. And I'm okay if I get a little pink on the green leaves right now, because that when I put garden green on it, it's going to make it disappear. But when I put the green on, that's when I need to be a little careful. So let me open this up. Now you could use markers, but I tried to use markers once on this stamp, and the streaks were just really bad. It didn't look good. Now, it could have been my error. It could be I just wasn't doing it very well. But I thought the sponge daubers worked a lot better. Now, I'm being really careful because I don't want to get green. Now, if I get a little green on the flowers, it's not the end of the world. This is supposed to be artistic, so we can just say it's artistic. So we're going to put some on this big leaf here. Now, the next one is a single leaf, and that one's the hardest one to get. So I'm just going to go to the side. I need to get a new sponge dauber because I had to cut off the top of this one, so it's kind of funky. But I'm going on the side, and I'm going to actually put some ink on the side here. Oh, yeah, that made it a lot easier. If I go on the side, that makes it a lot narrower, and then I'm less apt to get any on that on the flowers. Ooh, I do see a little green on that little flower. Let's see if I can. I bumped it and didn't realize it. There, that looks better. Okay. Then I'm going to stamp this like so up here in the corner. And one thing, when you use markers, you want to huff on it. That gets it re-moistened. But when you use sponge daubers, it stays wet longer. So that's why I'm not worrying about huffing. So now I've got my different colors. And now I'm going to grab the You Inspire Me. I'm going to use Garden Green. I'm going to stamp it here in the bottom right corner. And I'm okay that it's getting on the, flowers. That was actually the look I was going for. Okay. Now, we're going to be doing some die cutting, so I do want to leave the green out. Oh, that's right. I need to do this one too still. I should have just left the crumb cake out. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stamp a basket stamp that's in the set. I made sure there's plenty of cardstock. I can't remember if I gave you the size. This one is a 2 3/4 by 6.5. I could probably go a little smaller, but I always go a little bit bigger just in case I make a mistake and I need to use have some more cardstock. That's the set of brushes. And I'm wanting to use a different color. So I'm doing 2 sets. Since this has just the garden green and the not blushing pride, that's gone, bubble bath, then I thought I needed those colors of brushes. So there we go. So now we've got 2 sets, one in blushing pride. I'm going to be saying that all night. Bubble bath and garden green. And, oh yeah, almost forgot. I'm going to stamp the little flower too, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the big flower. So I'm going to get the flower with the bubble bath. This is smaller, but it's actually a little easier because the leaves and the flowers are right next to each other. And then I will stamp that right there. So that's all the stamping. Yeah, that is all the stamping. I had to look at my card and make sure I was remembering everything. So I'm going to close these up so they don't dry out on me. Done with the sponge daubers. Get those out of the way. And since this is a smaller piece, I can use my mini Stampin' and Cut and Emboss machine. Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I can never say that very fast. I'm getting my boho blue out machine because these are available again. I said this in the last live. I love that these have come back. What this was something that you could get during a celebration if you signed up as a demonstrator. Well, they had some extras, so these are while supplies last. So if you wanted to get this boho blue, make sure you get it soon because it is only available while supplies last, so they could sell out. Oh, hi, Cindy. I don't think I said hi to you. You're from Everett, Washington. Glad you're here. Okay, so this one is set up just like the white one. Now, if you still like the white one, that is, of course, still available, but I really like the boho blue. It's pretty. So to die cut, you need the platform number 1, the white one. Let me go up here a little bit. Then get one of the mini cutting plates. It's getting kind of bowed, but let's see if we can make this work. You know what? I think I might be, I'm going to have to do 2 brushes, but I think I'm going to be able to get everything else on here. Let me grab my dies here. I need the easel. If I can get a hold of it. Oh my goodness, this magnet's working too good. Okay, so this is going to go right here. You know what? I'm going to turn this over. I think it's going to work better. I should have got another cutting plate. This thing is warped like crazy, but it's going to work. So get that lined up. Here's some tape. I think we have to get some new tape, more tape too. So definitely want 2 on this one. Oh, and by the way, this is Post-it tape, in case you were wondering. It works really, really good. You can get that on Amazon is where I got mine. I'm sure you can find it at office supply stores too. Okay. Oh, there's the basket. So we'll do this with the basket. When I do 1 card at a time, I get the dies out all at once, and then I don't have to go searching for them, but can't do that since I'm making 3 cards. Okay, now oh, here we go. This is the one for the brushes, so I'll do this one since it's farther away from the basket. And then I'll go back and do the pink ones here in just a minute. But I love having dies that will die cut all of these. Oh, I am going to need another piece of tape here. Of course, you can fussy cut them if you don't have a die cutting machine. But I have to admit, it's so much easier with the dies. Oops. I'm trying to pull this out so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So this, like I said, is a 6.5 inch lengthwise. The 2 3/4 fits perfectly. As long as it's under 3.5, it'll go through. But it looks like I wouldn't go any longer than 6.5 because you can see how that just fits. There we go on there. Now you could, of course, do a longer one. You just couldn't die cut all these at the same time. Now we'll put this down on top, run it through. go. Get all of these off quick. Oh, I'll do it carefully. There we go. For a minute there, I went kind of fast. I thought it might be tearing, but it wasn't. I have very rarely had it tear my paper. I think the only time it does is if it starts to get a little humid. I'm here in our basement. And now that summer's coming, I think we're going to have to get the dehumidifier on because I'm noticing things are sticking. So isn't that cute? I love it, how it die cuts everything out. Then, oh, hi, Betty from Wisconsin. Glad you're here, too. And Judy. Hi, Judy. Here we go. I've got a good crowd tonight. I'm glad you guys are here. It's so much more fun when there are more people and you can comment. Wasn't too long ago I do lives, and I'd be lucky to get one or two. So I'm really glad you guys are here. So here are the brushes. And, oh, here's a little flower, and then I'll hurry up and do that last. I probably should have done that other flower. I mean, oh, that cut out really good. Good. I was afraid it moved on me, but it didn't. That tape works pretty good. You know what? I'm just going to throw these dies in here and not worry. I'll put them away later. But I do need to bring this back in. I should have done, like I said, should have done the one set of brushes before the video, but it only takes a few seconds. Not too bad. So these were the ones I did in Bubble Bath. Now you could definitely die cut these in black and then color them in a little bit. But I was going for a fast look and a different way to do it. Well, I'm not getting these. There we go. The first set lined up a little easier. Okay. And this will be the last thing I need to die cut. For this card, that is. We've got some more die cutting to do for sure on the other cards. Because there are just so many cute images. You got to use the dies. So there's the pink brushes. You can barely see that. That pink is really light, but you can definitely see them in person. Just not showing up good on the video. Okay, get this cleaned up. Okay, so now I can bring in everything here. Now, I've been getting a lot of adhesive on my surface here. And I'm going to grab this in. I don't use this as much at my desk. But here, I want to keep this nice. So I'm going to grab, oh, where'd I put it? There we go. This I'm just putting on with regular seal. And I'm not going to worry about putting any on here. You can if you want to, but it's going to stay on just fine. I'm going to bring this right here. I'm going to put it here in the bottom right corner, like so. And I'm going to grab the basket here. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I forgot how I did this. I'm going to turn the basket over, and I'll just put some adhesive on here. I'm going all the way across. This is another good reason to use a silicone mat, because some of this adhesive is definitely going to stick if I did it a different way. So I've got my green brushes. So I'm going to put them on the left side. I'm putting up this as high up as I can. I don't want the bottom to show the bottom of the basket. And then, you know what, I'm going to put a little bit here on the bottom of these brushes because these are going to overlap a little bit. And then here are my pink ones. So that is all ready for our painter to keep painting their picture. I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put one right here in the middle to kind of hold those two together. And then I'll just put one on each corner. Probably don't have to do that. But since all those are stuck together, I want to make sure they're on really good. Get the paper backing off. And then I'm going to put this in the bottom right corner. And this is actually going to hold down that middle and right leg. So there we go. So we've got that on there. I thought the basket needed something. That's why I did that little flower. And the easiest way, you could use seal, but I think the easiest way to do something this little is use a glue dot. Or you could use multi-purpose glue too. I'm going to kind of put it over here on the left side. I thought it looked better in front of the greens as it's mainly pink. The pink brushes would probably wash it out. Now I'm going to grab these beautiful Tinsel Gems. And I'm going to use, I thought the Lost Lagoon would look fine with the green, and I was right. So I'm going to grab a small one. There are two different sizes in the three colors, the small and large. So I'm going to put a small one here in the center of this flower. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add some, if you make this card later, to your flower, stamped flowers up here, you can. I didn't. Since it's more of a painting, I decided not to. And then I'm going to grab another little one. I thought I'd put it here in the corner. And then a large one, put right up above. And then, of course, you can add more. I always use odd numbers and a triangle. So if you can believe it, that is the first card already. So if you've got any painters in your life, a lot of people are doing that with wine and canvas things. That would be a neat card to make for a wine and canvas event. So there's that card, and show you the inside again in case you forgot. Just put a piece of that paper across there, and you've got a nice inside for your card. Okay, so that's card number 1. Oh, thanks, Patty. Glad you liked it. Okay, now we're ready. This one is for paper crafters. So I think that includes all of us. I know it includes me, and if you're watching this, I'm sure it includes you. So this one is going to be with fresh freesia as the card base. So this is everything you get in the kit, but you get ×2, of course. And since these had little pieces, actually there's a little bitty piece right here for the cutter, and I didn't want that to get lost. So that's why I'm putting the little pieces in a bag for you in your card kit. I do that if there's a little small one. Now this one is another one of those radiating stitches, and it's the second largest one here. So this smallest one of the rectangles does the same thing as just a smaller version. Okay, that's how I got that piece, and this will be die cut for you. I can't wait to show you the cutter. It is fun. And let's see, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to start putting it together and then do some stamping. Oh, thanks, Anne. I'm glad you liked it. So once again, this is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece. Fold this in half. Oh, there it goes. Couldn't find my bone folder, and I actually put it away. Wow. So there, actually, the card base is going to be like this, because this is going to be a landscape card. A lot of times I will do at least one landscape card, not all the time. But here's a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of the same fresh freesia. I do this a lot when I want to have an embossed layer. It's a little easier. I wanted the whole card to be the fresh freesia. And sometimes it's just easier to die cut a separate piece. But there is what that embossing folder looks like that I showed you. Oh, there, that shows it a little better. I love this one. I use this one a lot in this set. So I'm going to use a piece of that, Delightfully Eclectic DSP. This one is a 5 1/4 by 1.5 inch piece. You could use whichever side you want to. Now, this is what I'm going to be using in my paper cutter. You can see I've got another piece here. So you're actually going to be showing both sides with this card. So this is what I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Okay. And I'm going to put it, make sure the flowers are going upright, but it's going to be right along the bottom. I tend to do a little better when I do it this way, because I can see this short end a little better. And if that's straight, it usually goes on straight. Oop, I did not cut this right. Okay, pretend like it went all the way to the end. I will fix that in the card kits, because I have a funny feeling. Let me look at my other. Oh, where did I put those card kits? Huh. Well, that's weird. I threw the card kits somewhere that I showed you a minute ago, and I don't know where I put them. Oh, well, pretend like this goes all the way across. I'll show you the original. I can't. Oh, wait a minute. They're right here in front of my face. I love it when I do that. You know what? I think I did this one right. I did. So I'm going to replace that one. This one is coming off. I know what I did. This was a leftover, and I picked up the wrong one. The 5 1/4 inch one is probably over in my pack. So I will put that over here out of the way, because I want this card to be intact so you can tell how pretty it looks. That would have looked a little weird. Okay, now we'll try this again. Put it right here. I'm so glad I always show you guys what the card kits look like, so in case I mess up mine, I can grab one from the card kit. There we go. That looks much better. Now, I'm not using any ribbon on any of these cards, so we can go ahead. I'm going to put this on the card base. And I'll put this right in the center. Make sure the fold is on top if you make this card later. And there we go. So there we've got that. see, what else do we need? Oh, here's the inside of the card. This is a 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, this one I stamped on. And here is our die cutting stamp. It looks exactly like our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which I thought was clever. Of course, they've got to make it look like the one we sell. But this one I'm doing in a different color. This is in Fresh Freesia. Now this one, if you wanted it to look exactly like ours, you could do it in, I'm trying to think what gray. Any of our grays. Smoky slate looks good, but so that gives you an idea. It's even doesn't say Stampin' Up, but that's where the Stampin' Up emblem would be in the embossing machine. I thought that was cool when they did that. Okay. Oh, hi, Patty. My dad made an easel. Oh, did he make an easel for when she was young? Kind of brought tears. Aw. It's funny how things, when you look at something, it makes you think back. Aw, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they're both gone. Yeah, there are things that make me remember people that have gone too. I'm sure it brought back happy memories for you, though. Okay. There we go. We've got this. So that's going to be the inside of the card. You know what? And this time, I actually remembered to make it a landscape. Yay. Usually, on last week's, remember I did it this way because that's the way I'm used to doing it. I'm glad I remembered that. Okay, we'll put this on. Put this on the inside. Oh, yeah, right in the corner, right in there. Now we've got that. A lot of times I will use this. Sometimes if I want it to be different colors, I will do it. But a lot of times I will make it to be the same color as the inside because I just think that looks good. Go ahead and close this. This is actually going to be my paper for the trimmer that I die cut. This one is 2 inches by, I'm sorry, 1.5 inches by 2 inches. That seemed to work. You definitely, I'm not finishing my sentences. Sorry about that. I get sidetracked. You only want it to be 1.5 inches in width at the most. It can be as long as you want it. But I think 1.5 fits inside the trimmer. And yes, it goes inside the trimmer. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to grab this. The one thing I'm worried about losing, I'm going to put these scissors over here, is this little bitty piece right here. That is for our little handle where the blade is. So I'm going to put that right here so I don't lose that. And this paper, this kind of lifts up right here. And I can put the paper right inside. Now, isn't that cute? I love that. And I could have done this in the darker gray, and it would have looked more like our trimmer. But that, I really liked that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of it here. Oh, actually, let me think, how did I do this? I think it's actually easier to put a little bit of, yeah, that's what I did. Make sure, if you do this, don't put any adhesive where these openings are. So I'm putting it next to it. Well, if I can get this reeled up right. So I'm going to put 2 strips on here. But I'm not going, I did go past. Grab my adhesive remover. There are little, well, if I can get hold of it. There are little score lines right here at the bottom. And I did not mean to, but I went past that. And you don't want to do that because the paper is not going to be there. So there we go. That took it away. So now I can slide this in like so. I'm going to hold this side, put my finger under there because I don't want it to stick just yet. We have a little bit hangover both sides. Probably a little more hanging over on the right side. There we go. And then, I love this. Okay, now I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm trying to remember how, oh yeah, glue is a little easier. I could use a glue dot, and I know that's what I did when I made this card yesterday. But I had a little trouble. It went on a little cockeyed. If you use a little drop of glue, it actually, you can move it around a little bit before it dries. So I'm just using a little bitty dot, not that much. And let's see if I get hold of this. Now, a lot of times you probably want to use a little darker color with this dot, with the blade, I mean. But I decided to since I'm die cutting these for everybody's card kits, I went with the same color. Let me show you the die quick. Get a hold of this. Is one that likes to stick to the magnet. There we go. This is what die cut the little blade. So it's just going to be easier for me to do it all in one color. And I still thought it looked good being one color. Now, if you want it to be different, you could take like a Stampin' Up marker or one of our blends that's a darker gray and color that in. And that'd make it so it's darker for you. So there we've got that. I love this. And then, actually, I think the cutter might be my favorite. Well, I like the scissors. They're a close second. But what I did, I die cut them out of a piece of silver foil specialty pack. This is a 2.5 by 1 inch piece. Now, in the other card that I talked about at the beginning of the video, and in case you missed the beginning, I've got a link to the other card that I made with this bundle down below, a link to that video. But to make the handles a different color, I used my Stampin' blends. I used, I think it was like the Night of Navy one, and colored. Let me get this a little closer. I don't know if you can see this. There's a little line. Oh, yeah, you can. There's a little line right here. From there up, I colored to make the handles a different color. But another way to do that is to die cut another set, and this is in Misty Moonlight. And where that little line is right there, I'm going to take my snips, and I'm going to cut right along. There we go. Right along there. And then I'm going to do it right along this one. So those handles are ready. And once again, I'm going to use glue because I just think it's a little easier. Now, I can tell by looking at this, one side is not as flat as the other. It doesn't look as finished. If you ever die cut, you know what I mean. So I know that, but I'm also going to make sure by putting it here. So that is definitely the front of this one. I'm going to turn this over. I'm just going to put little dots of glue. I don't need much, and I don't want much, because if I put too much, it's going to seep. And that's the one thing with the silicone mat here I'm using. If I did make one too big, I could turn it over and dab it on here, and the glue would come on here, so I wouldn't have too much, and then I could peel it off once it dried. But see, I've just got a little bit of glue, not much. Turn this over. I'm going to stand up again so I can make sure I'm getting it lined up good. But since this is the same die, it's going to line up perfectly. So there we go. We've got one side of our scissors ready. But if you want the whole thing to be shiny like the bottom, you can definitely use our blends to color that in. So let me make sure I've got this right. And I do. So I'll turn this over. I definitely don't want to put glue on the wrong side. That would not be good. There we go. Turn this over. And put this right on top. Not talking too much when I'm doing it because I got to concentrate. There we go. Got it all lined up. And now I'm going to move that over a little bit. Okay, now the way you put this together, you find the one that has the hole, and that's going to be on top, okay? And you kind of line those up like this. You can have them closed if you want to. I think they look better if they're open a little bit. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right in this little section, because that's where they're going to connect, right there. And then I'm going to put this on like so. I'm just, like I said, I just want them open just a little bit. I'm okay if there's glue that's going to come out this little hole, because I'm going to put one of the tinsel gems on top of that. So there we go. That's how you make your little scissors. Isn't that adorable? I love that. So that, actually, I was going to say, it's hard to, it's a toss-up. At first I was saying I like the trimmer the best, but those scissors are awful cute too. I think those, I like those the best. Okay, now, this is a little piece of white, basic white that is 2 3/4 by 2. This is what I'm going to stamp. Let me get this bag out of the way. I don't need it anymore because all my little pieces are glued up together. I'm going to stamp that die cutting machine again. So let me grab this. Oh, I need to get the Stampin' Pierce mat now. I think I'm done with that for right now. Let's get this inked up. I am so glad Fresh Freesia came back. This was one of our end colors last year that was going to go out. Actually, last 2 years. Thankfully, it came back. So there's my little die cutting machines. I'll be die cutting that here in just a minute. Actually, that is the only thing I need to die cut since I did all the others. For the card kit, I don't have to do those. So I'll go ahead and this out of the way, get my little machine back out here. Put this down, let me find my, there's the die for it. I know I say this a lot, but our dies, Stampin' Up's had their own dies for a while now. We don't use they get directly from who makes it instead of having somebody, an in-between person. Ever since they did that, I love that these are the openings of our dies. Usually, almost all of them, like 99% of them, go completely around the image. Oops, help if I did this. I'm right-handed. I need it this way. Goes right around the image. Our old ones would have a little bit of a white border around it, and sometimes it was kind of hard to line up, and I think it's a lot easier when it goes right around the image. And then the blade is offset a little bit, so you get a perfect little white border around it. So take this off. Oh, thanks, Myra. I'm glad you liked that. Oh, well, you already said that. Never mind. I just remembered I already commented on that, didn't I? And I get to work, and sometimes I think I miss a comment, and I really didn't. Okay. So there is our cute die cutting machine. Get this out of the way, because I'll need it one more time for the last card. And now bring this back in. There is a lot of putting together with these cards, but at least it's really easy putting together stuff. I did forget to stamp one thing, though. Bring this back in. I want to stamp the greeting. This one says, life is better when you're crafting. And I have to agree with that. This is with Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to stamp it in the top right corner. Hopefully, yeah, you can still see that. I want to get it closer to me so I know I'm getting it straight. I'm looking at the is better and when you're, because those are a little easier to get straight. That's still a little cockeyed, but that's okay. There we go. So we've got that in the top right corner. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the middle of the card. Now, that is definitely all the stamping. So get that out of the way. Get this on. Once again, I'm not going all the way to the edge because I don't want to go over the little stitch marks that are along the edge. Now, these stitches are a lot smaller, my goodness, than the first one that did on the first card. Now, this is going to go right in the middle, like so. Actually, maybe a little above the middle. There we go. So I've got that on there. Now I'm going to grab, let's see here. I'm going to lay things down for just a minute. I am going to put this on with dimensionals. So I think I'm going to go ahead, turn this over. And I think I'm going to put a little bit here where the, I'm only going to put it behind the trimmer. And I'm also making sure, like right here, it's going over the DSP and the trimmer. That way it doesn't slide off. Since I didn't put any adhesive on this side, that'll make sure it stays on really good. 4 should be plenty. You could probably get by with 3, but that'll work. Now, I'm not going to take the backings off yet because I want to lay this down. And I'm going to be putting it right here, close to there. And then I know this is going to go about right there. So this is pretty much in the middle. And then my scissors are going to go like that, okay? So this is the thing that's on the bottom. I always show you how I come up with where I'm going to put it because I lay everything down before I put it down. But now that I've made my first card, it's a little easier. I can just look at how I did my first one. So I'm going to put this one down about right here. Okay. And then I will go ahead and put this on because my scissors aren't going to be going over the trimmer. So, oh, there it is. Take all the paper backings off. And I put it this way. I'm getting it close to the life. Of course, I don't want to cover that up. So there we've got that. Now, with the scissors, once again, I think it's a little easier to use the glue because that way I can move it around if I need to. I'm making sure I definitely get some on the blades down here. I'll put a couple little dots up here on the handle too. The glue's, there we go. A minute, the glue wasn't coming out. And then I'll turn this over. Trying not to get glue on my fingers. And I kind of liked them angled like this and going over the die cutting machine just a little bit. There we go. Hold this down a few seconds so the glue can take hold. There we go. Now we're almost done. Got the embellishments to put on. And this time, I went back and forth on whether to use the Misty Moonlight or the Fresh Freesia, and I opted for these because I thought the blue would probably look better on the scissors. So I'm going to grab the large one. You can use whichever size. You could probably use a small one here, but I like the large one. Oop, I didn't get it right where I needed it. So I'm covering up that little hole, so that way it kind of looks like it's the screws that's holding the scissors together. Okay, then I'm going to grab a small one. I'm going to put it up here, and another small one, and put it down here on the DSP. And you can, of course, add some more if you want to. But there is the second card. So this is the one for our paper crafters. There we go. Now, that first card, another one I do a lot is, well, I used to do, is kind of cross-stitch. So that's what my first card was kind of like, the link I've got below. So I mean, there's just so many crafts that you can use with this set. That's why I like it so much. One of the reasons I like it so much. Okay, now, time for the last card. Oh, there it is. Once again, when I get to the last card, everything's getting covered up. There we go. Now, this one has some smaller pieces, but they're big enough they're not going to get lost, so I'm just putting them in the envelope this time. Oh, thanks, Judy. I'm glad you like that second card. Now, these two, oops, shoo, I almost lost my basket. These two right here, this is out of Calypso Coral, and of course, that's basic white. This one was out, you can use a scrap, but just so you know, the smallest pieces is 1 3/4 by 1 1/2. And this one was die cut out of this is a 5 1/2 by 2 inch piece, and I just cut it out of one end. So when you get the card kits, you're going to have a circle die cut out of it, and that's where that one came from. And those are from the Radiating Stitches Dies again. So there's the heart, and this was the circle one I used. Okay, now, let's see here. How do I want to do this again? Let's mix it up a bit. I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to live dangerously. We don't have to do it at the same time every time. Like I said, this is 5 1/2 by 2. Grab this here. And I'm going to stamp. This one is for sewing, by the way. I forgot to say that. Sewing and knitting. I put them both together on this one. So I'm grabbing the sewing machine and using Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to stamp it right over here, because it's going to be die cut. So there we've got our neat sewing machine. And I'm going to have some yarn in my basket. I'm using a different color I haven't used yet. This is Crushed Curry, because there's some yellow flowers in the DSP I picked out, so I wanted to get a little yellow in it too. And the Calypso Coral, looking at the paper, you can't see it very well, but the centers of the pink flowers, the petal pink flowers, is Calypso Coral. So that's why I did the heart a little darker, just to add some contrast. Sometimes it helps when you're using a bunch of light colors to have a couple one or two dark ones to make things pop. But here is the yarn, and I love how they're little knitting needles right inside the yarn. Now, I really don't know how to knit. My mom taught me a little bit. My mom is really good at knitting. She taught me a little bit. She also taught me how to crochet. I'm better at crochet, but I haven't done that for a long time either. That's one thing it's not in here, though. There aren't any crochet needles. That's one thing I wish was in here. But that's okay. They couldn't fit all the crafts that we can do in one stamp set. It'd have to have a humongous box. So I think they picked out the best ones. So there we've got that, the sewing machine and the yarn. So that's all the stamping on that one. And then I'm going to grab the inside of the card, another 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And this one, I'm going to stamp the sewing machine. And this time, just because of the way this is, I thought it looked better to put it in the bottom right corner. The way it's facing, I thought would look better here. You can put it on whichever corner you want, but I thought it looked a little better here. That's very true, Patty. I could definitely cut them. Those would be very easy to cut off. She was saying we could cut off the knitting needles and not, and it can still be for crochet. So that is a very good idea. Very good idea. Okay. So put this to the side. And now I think I am ready. Oh, no, I've got one more thing. I want to grab that little circle I just covered. Oh, there it is. I was actually smart and put it in my dish. So there's my little circle. And there's one little greeting in here, if I can find where I put it. I know. Oh, there it is. It got pushed underneath my lamp. There we go. This one says, with love. So I'm going to grab my Misty Moonlight again. This one I'm definitely going to stand up because I definitely need to see exactly where I'm getting it. That's one reason I love the photopolymer, because you can definitely see where you're stamping. And this circle is definitely big enough because for the greeting is smaller than the circle for sure. So you've got plenty of room to see where that circle's at. So there's the with love. That is all the stamping I need to do. So I can put this away for the night. I'm going to grab my die cutting machine one last time. Oops. That one out. Put this down. Now I need my sewing machine, which is right here. And it's already got a nice little thimble of yarn, or not yarn, thread on top. Another thing I used to do a lot, sew. Haven't done that for a while. Okay, and then I used to sew things for our kids when they were little. But then it got to where buying material was more expensive than buying things that were already made. Crazy. I haven't bought material for a while. So, oh, there we go. Let me get this back in this. So this is the one that does the yarn. So I'm sure, unless you can get it on sale, material is very expensive still. Nuts. Okay, so I put tape right here. Once again, I flip this around. I could do it with my left hand, but I'm better with my right hand. So I'll run this through. Put this down here so you can see. And I'm going to close this up since I'm all done with it. Oops, flip some tape up here. And I love with the tape, you can use it over and over again. Now, when it starts to fall apart, that's when you want to change and get some new tape out. But I've been using the same tape through the whole class. So here we've got this. Yeah, patterns got expensive too, Mary. You're totally right. The last real thing I sewed, our church used to do Christmas musicals. And we'd get in costumes and stuff. And the last time, a lot of times, like if it was one time we did something in the 1940s, so I was able to find some stuff at Goodwill. But when we did, one that was that in Bible time, a little hard to find Bible costumes. So I found patterns and thankfully was able to get some stuff on sale at Walmart. So I think that was probably the last time I made something was a Bible costume. That's been a long time ago because it's been a few years since we've done that. Okay, this is a piece of Night of Navy. For the card base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. Because both blues, Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy, are in that delightfully eclectic DSP. And I want to make sure I tell you, those of you that have joined late that didn't get to see it, once the live is over, you can watch the recording. I showed all of the designs in this DSP that I'm using because it's a big pack. And it's not a host-only pack this year. You can purchase it. So it's got like 12 different designs, double-sided. I wanted you to see that. It's like 4 of each design. So, okay, we've got the card base here. Yep, I can go ahead. This one, I used that same Basics 3D folder again. I almost would use the dotted one, but for some reason, I just really liked this design for these cards. Patty said, you don't buy material anymore. Yeah, because of the cost. Shorten my pants because I'm so short. Yeah. I've got a few that I've had to shorten too. I'm not real short, but I do have to shorten them every once in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. Well, I am having trouble with this. Just to give you a tip, because some of you have said you haven't watched me before. If you're having trouble with our seal, it's sometimes when you use it, make a little check mark. So what it doesn't have to be a hard check mark, just a soft one. That cuts the adhesive so it stays here near the end. Sometimes I don't get that done just right, which is fine. And then it ends up pulling down so the adhesive isn't all the way at the tip. And it works really good once it's at the tip. So just wheel it up a little bit more till it's on the tip again, and then it starts working just fine. And put this here in the middle. And also, you don't have to use a lot of pressure. Sometimes I get to using too much pressure, and that's when it messes up too. With our old, what was it called, snail, you'd had to use a little more pressure. With this one, you don't have to use that much pressure at all. So we've got this on here. This is another piece of Night and Navy. It's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this one is a 3 by 3 piece of that Eclectic. You could use whichever side. This was too much yellows, and I liked the little flowers on there. So we'll put this on. Well, I did it again. And I didn't wheel it up enough. There we go. Sometimes, too, I found when you... My goodness, I'm having trouble with this one. It keeps rolling back on me. Okay, this is getting a little aggravating. There we go. There. Okay, I've just learned that because I think that's the first time that's happened to me. Just keep wheeling it up to where it goes past it if it starts doing that. When I did that, then it worked just fine. There must have been something wrong with the end of that adhesive. Okay, so this will just go right here in the middle. Go ahead and put some adhesive on here again. There, now it's working really good. I'll put this. I am going to have the border on the sides and the top be about the same. Like so. Make sure it's straight. That looks pretty good. So put this on here. There's my love. Let's bring in all the little pieces here. I love this basket. Here, this is the die. This is another one of those standalone dies, and it does the embossing for you. I think, there we go. Sometimes I have to get it angled just right so you can see the embossing. So it really looks like a basket. I like that. I'm going to grab my silicone mat again. Turn it over, and I'm just going to put adhesive along the top, but I'm not putting any on the handle. You can, but I don't want to have any adhesive out here because sometimes this will get stringy and you'll see it right there. And if that does happen, just take your fingernail and kind of scrape it out, and you'll be just fine. But I'm going to put the yarn in here. This time I do want the needles to show because I thought that looked kind of cool. I'm going to try to center it. I don't want to see, I don't know if you can tell, a little bit of that string here is showing, so I'm going to move it over a little bit. There we go. That looks good. So now we've got our little thing. Well, actually, you know what? Let's see if I can do this. One nice thing about our seal, you can remove things pretty easily the first 10 minutes or so. So there, I wanted to show my yarn just a little bit. It's probably not that big of a difference, but now the yarn is showing just a little bit more. And I'm going to pop this one up. So while I've got it in hand, I'm going to grab my dimensionals again. And really, I think I need 2. I could use 3. I'm kind of putting where the yarn and the basket meets down here. I could put, you know what? I think I will. Let me think here. Nope, I don't want to put one there. That's right. I actually want this to stay like it is. And then I'm going to put, because I'm going to be sticking some things underneath it. I almost forgot that part. Now I'm going to bring the card back in. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the With Love on. This one I'm just using the regular seal. Because the only thing I'm going to pop up, actually I'm going to pop up the sewing machine too, so I'll get some dimensionals on that. So this and this is these are going to be popped up. I like this kind of at an angle, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and, I think it's easier to put the sewing machine on next. So I'm going to grab, so I'm kind of doing each corner. Put one there. I think 3 will work for this one. I could put one in each corner. That would definitely work, but I think this is going to be just fine. Let me grab my, where'd I put it? There it is. Let's see. Actually, that's why I did it. I knew there was a reason I did this. I didn't want one up here in this corner because I'm going to be sticking the heart back here, and it's going to be nice to be able to put that behind there without it hitting the dimensional. I knew there was a reason I did that yesterday, and I couldn't remember. So this is going to go like so, right here, not all the way to the right. Oh, actually, I'm going to bring it over a little bit more. I like having a little bit of pink right there. So that's going to go there. I'm going to grab my little heart. I'm going to try to keep the adhesive. It's a little harder to keep the adhesive within the stitching because it's a little narrower, but it's doable. I just definitely got that to happen. I'm going to stick this underneath here, and since I don't have a dimensional here, I've got plenty of room. I'm even going to have it go over the pink, petal pink, just a little bit. There we go. I just thought that heart kind of goes along with the with love. That's why I added the heart. Plus, it needed a little something. It was a little drab looking. And I'm going to grab this. And I only didn't want a dimensional here on the very edge because it's going to be going on top of my sewing machine just a little bit. Actually, this one's still not in a really good spot. Let's see if I can get it to move. Ooh, cool. There we go. So kind of have them over this way a little bit more. I could actually, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put one right here. So if you just put one here on the top, that would be fine. I'm afraid to move that one again. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'd forgotten I just put two on the top. There we go. Now I can get this to go so it's level with the, I don't want to cover my love, with the sewing machine. Because I don't want that kind of angling up. So if I had a dimensional here with this being popped up, it wouldn't look right. So there, now I've got all the pieces except for the embellishments. I'm going to go ahead and put the inside of the card in quick because I might forget that. I think today I actually remembered everything. Last week I forgot to tie on a little piece of ribbon. My goodness, this one, I hope it's not going to be like this the whole time. This is a new refill. Once I get it going, it does really good. And I will put this right here inside. And this time, I didn't want to add the Night of Navy ink pad because I'm already using, I forget how many, but quite a few ink pads. So I thought, well, the Misty Moonlight still goes together. And if you look at these flowers, the flowers themselves are actually Misty Moonlight, and then the leaves and stuff are Night of Navy. So it's just a little bit of different color, so it looks just fine using the Misty Moonlight. So that's why I stuck with that one. So there, we've got the inside done. Now I have used the Lost Lagoon and the Fresh Freesia. No, take that back. I used Lost Lagoon and the Misty Moonlight. Now I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to put a bigger one. You know what? My putty's coming out again. There. Let's see if I got enough to come out here. Well, there we go. And I thought I needed a little something right here. So I'm going to put that in the corner of the With Love. And then I'm going to grab another small one of the Fresh Freesia. I'm going to put it right about here. And I thought I'd put a big one up here on the DSP. Oops. I don't think I got enough of the putty out again. Oh, that one took the glue dot off, so we'll go with this one. There we go. Of course, you can put it wherever. I struggle sometimes knowing where to put my embellishments. So if you have come up with another way to put it down, go right ahead. There we go. So there is the last card. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Let me get all of the cards out here. So we've got one for our artists that like to paint, the wine and canvas crowd. Then we've got this for our paper crafting, for card making, scrapbooking, and all that fun stuff. And then one for sewing and knitting. So like I said, this bundle is so much fun. So I hope you had fun watching the class. There we go. Let me get my chat back up. There we go. And I'm really glad you guys could come tonight. This was a lot of fun. I was looking forward to this one. I look forward to all of them. Sometimes, if all of the lives I've done, sometimes I still get a little nervous, but I actually wasn't nervous. It's probably because the technical stuff didn't happen. Everything worked out really good. When everything works good, I'm a lot calmer. So I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, thanks, Judy. I'm glad you liked them. Oh, thanks, Anne. Good. I'm glad you love the Night of Navy choice. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked that. Oh, thanks, Mary. I'm glad you guys are liking the cards. Yeah, I don't use Night of Navy that much, so I was really glad to get that out. I thought that looked really pretty. The color, like I said, the colors in this paper are beautiful, bright and cheery, and not all of the colors are used on each design, as you saw when I showed you all the paper. So there's so many different color combos you can use with this. Like I said, so many different designs that go with different stamp sets. So it's a must-have. It's a little more expensive, but 48 sheets. It's actually, when you divide it out, it's still cheaper per sheet, a lot cheaper per sheet than getting one of our regular DSP packs. So it's a real good deal. Oh, thanks, Carol and Myra. I'm glad you like the cards too. Again, thanks for watching. Like I said, more interacting and stuff, that just makes it so much fun. I love talking back and forth with you guys. Now, if I missed any of your comments, I'm sorry. I just realized today when I was going through it, I really do think some of the comments come out of order every once in a while. It doesn't happen very often, but I know there was one up at the top that I'd missed and saw it later, thankfully. So I always try to comment during the video, but if I miss you, believe me, I read them afterwards. So I'm really glad that you are commenting. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you think they're cute. Let's see. The white circle looks like it could be used for... Oh, it definitely could be a paper plate. Oh, what a good idea. Yeah, she's talking about that. Oh, let me get back, switch a screen here. I'm here acting like I'm showing you and forgot I was on the wrong screen. Let me get my comments back up. That is a great idea. Doesn't that look like a paper plate, guys? I never thought of that. That's good thinking out of the box, Michelle. That's a good idea. I like that. Oh, thanks, Patty. I'm glad you liked them. I'm glad they're good inspiration for you, too. Okay, well, I will see you guys again next week. I know I've got it figured out what next week's is, but I can't remember. So I'll be back next week with a new class. But don't forget, if you want to get these, get card kits to make 2 each of these cards, make sure you place that qualifying order. It's $40 order before shipping and tax using the host code you see in the bottom left corner. But like I said, there is a card class at home link down below in the video description. Just click on that and you'll get all the information there, and even a link to my online store that will attach the host code for you. So I've got that on there too. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I can't believe how fast this week went. But I know there's some teachers around here, my oldest daughter included. Tomorrow is the last day of school for the students here in Mooresville. So she's pretty happy the week's gone this fast. It's probably gone slower for her, but it's gone really fast for me. So I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.